In our first video to Introduction to Microeconomics, let us first familiarize ourselves with some terms like who is a consumer? A consumer is one who would satisfy his want by consuming goods. The process of consuming goods is called as consumption. Then producer, one who produces goods to be sold in the market or to earn a profit is called a producer. The process of production of goods using raw materials is called production. Now, in the process of consumption and production, there is income that is generated. This income is distributed among the factors of production. So, that's called distribution of income. So, consumption, production and distribution are three main parameters to economics. Now, a seller is a person, like say a shopkeeper, who sells goods for consumption. An employer is one who would give wages to a person whom he employs for his services. An employee is one who earns an income for his services. Income is something that one receives at regular intervals of time. Let us say monthly is called income. And on a daily basis, we would call it a wage. Then we have resources. Resources refer to raw materials for a producer and income for a consumer. These resources can be put to alternative uses. That means they can be used in many different ways. Now, after learning the terms, let us understand what economics is, or how can you define economics. So, economics therefore is the study of how people and society choose to employ scarce resources, resources that are scarce, that could have alternative uses in order to produce various commodities that satisfy their wants and to distribute them for consumption among various persons and groups in a society. Let's try to understand this. It is a study of how people would employ resources. What type of resources? Resources that are scarce. Resources are not abundant. There are not many resources. There is a limit for the resources that are available in nature. So, how do we employ these resources? These resources can be put to alternative uses. That means not one use. These resources can be put to many uses. And why do we do this? To produce various commodities. And why do we produce commodities? To satisfy our wants. Wants which are unlimited. You satisfy one want, another one arises. You satisfy the second want, third want arises. So, there are unlimited wants. There is no end to it. And also to distribute these commodities for consumption. Consumption among the various persons in a society. So, that is what is the definition for economics. Now, in an economy, there are economic problems. How can you solve these economic problems? By rational management of resources. Just now we saw resources are scarce. These resources are limited on the earth. And these resources have alternative uses. That means they can be used in many different ways. Hence, we talk about the rational management of resources. What does this mean? At the micro level, it means that an individual uses his income, here income is his resource, to maximize his satisfaction or to satisfy his wants. Then a firm, an individual firm, would maximize its profits. At the macro level, we talk about a country as a whole. Here, the country uses its resources to maximize the rate of growth or the gross domestic product or the national income, and it maximizes social welfare. Now, economics can be learnt under two branches. One called normative economics, which deals with what ought to be done or where you can give value judgments. And the other branch that deals with positive economics, which talks about what is, that is, facts and figures. Let's try to understand micro and macroeconomics better by differentiating them. Microeconomics, here we have, see this letter I in microeconomics tells us that we are dealing with individual households and individual firms. Whereas this A in macroeconomics talks about the aggregates, that means where we are talking of an economy as a whole. So in microeconomics, the economic units are small, that is individual households or individual firms, the consumers and the producers. Whereas in macroeconomics, the economic unit is an economy as a whole. So we talk about the aggregates, the sum total of. Then microeconomics, the main tools are demand and supply. Demand for goods by the households and supply of goods by the firms. In macroeconomics, the main tools are aggregate demand and aggregate supply. We are talking about sum total, no? So, the sum total of the demand and the sum total of the supply. They are called as aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Now, microeconomics is concerned with determination of price in the market. Hence, this is also called as price theory. What happens when the price of goods goes up? What happens when the price falls? Okay, will it have any effect on the demand and supply of goods? So, all that we learn under price theory. Whereas macroeconomics is concerned with the aggregate output, the total output that is produced in an economy, and the general price level in the economy as a whole. Therefore, it is called as theory of income and employment. Then the components of the microeconomics are theories of consumer behavior, producer behavior, and the theory of price. Whereas the components of macroeconomics are those theories that are related to equilibrium level of output, inflation and deflation. Inflation means rise in prices, deflation means fall in prices, and the gap between them. The fiscal and the monetary policies. The fiscal policy deals with that of the government policy, and monetary is of the RBI or the Reserve Bank of India. The money supply in the market, the budget, foreign exchange, and balance of payments. Let us now understand the differences between positive and normative economics, the two branches of economics. Positive economics deals with economic issues as what is, what was, and what would be. What are these? The present, past, and the future. The facts related to present, past, and future. Whereas normative economics deals with economic issues like what ought to be, that is, opinions related to economic issues. They are only opinions. Then here in positive economics, we study how different mechanisms function. If a policy is brought about, how is it going to function? Whereas normative economics, we understand whether the mechanism is desirable or not. Should we have it or not? Positive economics, here we have facts and figures which can be verified for truth. Whereas normative economics, they are not verifiable. Positive economics does not involve value judgments, whereas that is possible in normative economics. Value judgments, yes, this can be done, this may not be done, should not be done, kind of things. Now, an example under positive economics is population of India is second highest in the world. Is a statement that is true. And we all understand that. It can be verified. The next example is that there is high rate of unemployment in India is also a true statement which we can verify through facts and figures. Now, normative economics, the examples are unemployment rate should be reduced, is my opinion. What will happen is that is of later concern. But what is my opinion? Yes, unemployment rate in India should be reduced. Then the government should promote social safety to take care of the poor. That is my opinion. Who should take care? Is I am just making a statement that the government, in case takes care of social welfare, then it would be better for the poor. So it's only an opinion, my opinion that I have expressed. So those were the differences between positive and normative economics.